I just heard him pop in. All right. So I apologize for the hiccup. That is entirely my fault. I want it to be known that David Weiss was right on time. And before I bring him on, I just want to let people know that we're not going to discuss how we know or for a fact, that we've scientifically validated that we're not living on a giant ball of water, spinning, wobbling, and flying through infinite space at millions of miles per hour, powered by a 13 billion year old explosion. I feel kind of stupid even just saying that. But if you do believe that, you should still have no problem with Dave and I speculating about why the powers that be might lie about such a thing, our true cosmology and origins, and what could exist at the North Pole or beyond the shorelines of Antarctica, and the implications of being the apex species living in the center of creation. So if you're triggered by this flat Earth discussion, because you're just 100% certain the heliocentric model is correct, let me know in the chat how you came to this conclusion based on your research and your observations and experiments, because I know for a fact you've never seen the sphere-shaped Earth with your own eyes. You've never felt any of the alleged motions of the Earth, and you have never had to compensate for Earth's spin or curvature to navigate, construct, or accomplish anything in your entire life. So, with no further ado, let's bring on the man with the plan, the man that most flat earthers love and all globers love to hate, the kite surfing, Bitcoin herding, Jewish app salesman from Connecticut, David Weiss. David, how the heck are you?
That was a pretty accurate description there, my friend.
Wasn't it? I know you will.
Pretty good.
I watched a lot of your videos.
Thanks. I did go kite surfing today, and it was crazy windy.
How isn't it cold?
I'm in Mexico.
Oh, you're in Mexico. Oh yeah, I forgot. You're a snowbird. Excellent. Well, I'm so happy for you, man. What's the temperature down there right now?
It's like 85 right now at night.
I hate you. Okay, yeah, it's snowing like a banshee. We're supposed to get like 6 inches of snow tonight and stuff. So.
Sweet.
That is so cool. Yeah, so Dave, tonight I want to kind of give you a chance to dive into the woo-woo side of flat Earth. I know it's got to get a little old going over all these facts and everything. Not that I don't enjoy it, and I think there's definitely a time and place for that, but this is a weird channel, and this is Weird World is the name of our stream. So I'm going to give you just free range to talk about anything and everything flat Earth, but I'd like to focus on the implications of what it means to live on the flat Earth and what could be beyond the realms that we're able to explore. How's that sound? Does that sound all right?
That sounds great. I love talking about that. A lot of people, when you talk about flat Earth, you only can talk about facts. So you're not allowed to speculate. No, we're allowed to speculate. That's how you figure out things. You speculate on lots of things, and there's so much evidence. One thing that I'm confused on is how is there anybody that thinks we live on a globe? How is that even possible? How do people? Yeah, and those people call us retards.
I know. It just seems so ridiculous. I've been looking into this for a decade now, and I can't find anything that even makes me doubt it. Oh, I want to share a joke with you before we get too deep. Okay. This joke is supposed to be against flat earthers, but I found it the other way around. Okay. So Dave Weiss, he dies and he goes to heaven. And St. Peter says, hey, you can ask God one question before you enter the gates of heaven. And you know what question Dave asked? He said, so God, is the earth flat? God said, no, my son, the earth is a sphere. And Dave says, holy crap, this conspiracy's gone way deeper than I thought. Did I say it wrong?
I don't know.
So God said the earth is a globe. Did I say flat? So Dave Weiss dies, goes to heaven. He gets a chance to ask a question. He asks the question,
flat, and God says it's a globe.
And you say, oh my gosh, this conspiracy runs much deeper than I thought.
You're going to have to explain this one to me. I'm sorry.
You know it's flat, but God says, so he's in on the conspiracy. Never mind.
Okay. Now I get it. Now I get it. That's kind of funny, but I didn't get it right away.
My bad.
That's good. So I'll take it.
Here was my backup joke. I should have went with this one. We got to be careful making fun of the Globers because we do have the American with Disabilities Act that protects making fun of the mentally disabled.
I agree with that 100%.
Okay.
They have
Yeah,
nothing. They have nothing. You know, when we talk about your floor, they want to talk about the lights in the ceiling. That's all they have. They don't want to address anything. And the thing is, if you have a chain and it's broken in 15 places, it doesn't matter. The chain is broken, right? If the Earth is not a globe, it's over. I mean, if you can't find a single globe proof, the fact that I am offering 3 Bitcoins, that's a substantial amount of money for 1 globe proof. And, you know, there's a lot of smart professors out there that are strapped for money. Come on, give me 1 proof. We live on a physical ball. There has to be simple proof. There has to be proof. There has to be something. There's nothing. There's nothing.
I know. I went looking in odd places, like mainly like construction and things like that, where I know they would have to take this like a pipeline or that bridge
Yeah.
in China, 100 miles. There has to be
Yeah.
some compensation somewhere. I thought, the truth is hiding somewhere. It was hiding, but the truth is, it's flat.
Yeah, what
I'm
difference?
sure. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, what difference does it make? What difference does it make? That's what we were all trained to say. What difference does it make? I still have to go to work on Monday, right? That and the difference that it makes. This is literally the most important secret that keeps us slaves. This is the one that keeps us. He who created it owns it. So the evil ones, whatever label you want to put on them, the Illuminati, the devil, whatever, they created the satanic globe. And if we willingly live on it, we have to play by their rules. If we use their fake money, we have to play by their rules with their fake money. So we need to step off their globe, get back to our God-created flat Earth, and let's go explore.
I agree. And that's kind of the stuff I wanted to get into today, particularly some of the old world maps. I know you've been using that. I think it's 1907 Buddhist map that kind of shows, the lands beyond the ice wall.
Yeah.
There's a ton of those out there. I was looking at those, I think it was a week or so ago. And there's places called like, one that stuck with me was Telekinesia. And
Yeah.
I think there's probably other lands. I don't know if you've ever looked into why white people are called Caucasian, but I think Caucasia maybe used to be a place. And
Maybe.
I think there's, they say truth in the movies, lies in the news. I think maybe there may be a little bit of something to the Lord of the Rings. I think maybe there were some lands where fairies inhabited it, and maybe there's places where, what we call trolls or things like that. I think we're underestimating our creator if we only think that he created just this little spot that we're on. I think he's probably got he or she, it's probably got a bigger imagination than that. What do you think? Do you think there are lands with other species, or do you have any reason to believe that?
I have lots of reason to believe that there's other lands with English-speaking humans on it. Not just humans, English-speaking humans and other languages, whatever. But I think that there's people that have traveled beyond the to other lands, to other ponds, and there's so many people that freak out when you suggest this. Even the Christians, God created the earth. Well, there can't be other lands. Wait a minute. Did God tell you how big the earth is? Did God tell you how wide the earth is? Did God tell you, that there's only 7 continents or 8, whatever the number is? I've forgotten the number that they tell us because it's wrong.
It's a lie. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lie. And you've seen this map, the Nos Confunden map. Have you read The Navigator Across the Ice Wall?
Yeah, and the Iron Republic. Well, I didn't read the Iron Republic. I listened to it. But yes, both of those are fascinating. For the listeners who don't know anything about these 2 books, tell them where they can find that and give us a little brief synopsis of those.
Well, we'll start with the Iron Republic. The Iron Republic was written. There was I think it was New York politician, and in the late 1800s, got sick and tired. We still here? Did I lose you?
Nope, I'm here. I was just trying to make your map bigger so people could see it.
The politician had got sick and tired. He sold his house, sold everything, and he bought a ship and got a crew, and he went to Antarctica, and he found an opening, and he went through the opening, and then they were out in the sea, and they were lost for like 2 or 3 months, I think. Then they saw land and a city, and they pulled up, and it was nighttime. They're like, all right, we're going to wait until the morning. And they commented that the city was quiet. There was no noise. Weird. And then in the morning, a boat came out to greet them and like, hey, welcome. And it was like, we're from America. Where are we? It's like, oh, you're at the Iron Republic. And like, where's that? He goes, well, it's the land on the other side of Antarctica, about the same distance as America is. They didn't quite understand. Excuse me. I'm losing my voice again. And basically, long story short, he went there, lived there for, I think, 10 years, or I forgot how long. He ended up falling in love, got married, and then his wife died in some accident or something. I forget the exact book. And he got his ship back, made it back across the ice wall, and landed in Florida and wrote his stories in Florida Magazine, which you cannot find a single hard copy of anymore. It's gone, which is interesting. And that was published in 1901. So that's a very interesting story. Whether it rings true to me, whether it's true or not, doesn't matter, because they're talking about more land beyond Antarctica in 1901 or 1899, which is fascinating. So that's that one. And then the other book, if you look in the book section here, The Navigator Who Crossed the Ice Wall, and that was the map I was just showing you. I got a little slow internet here. Am I coming across okay?
Yeah, very good. And while we're on that subject, I want to apologize. That first live stream I had, I thought the clicking was in my headphones. The clicking was in your microphone. You probably don't remember. You've done hundreds of since then. But I noticed you didn't share it on your channel, and I have a feeling that's why, because your mic was kind of clicking.
Is my mic clicking now?
Nope, your mic sounds good. You're not buffering. It sounds perfect. I would have guessed you were in Connecticut had you not told me otherwise.
Here it is, Navigator Across the Ice Wall, right here. And it's a really short book. I mean, it's literally almost like it's short, big type and pictures. You can read it in one sitting, in no time. But basically, it's a story of Star Wars. It's a story about traveling between other worlds, where there's the Galactic Federation. It's the story of Star Wars, and there's hostile lands, and there's the Federation that allows you to go certain places. Don't go here, go there. This is hostile. This is friendly. And they say in the book, if you remember, that every person that travels to the other lands, and maybe every person on Earth, has a connection to what they call the source being. God, what do you want to call it? God, yeah, the source and the force. And then and they have the custodians in the Navigator Across the Ice Wall. Those are the ones that are in charge. Sounds like the Galactic Federation or whatever the authority is that in the movie. So Star Wars is scientifically impossible. Flying from planet to planet in a space vacuum with high pressure adjacent to a void and all that stuff. That's scientifically impossible. You have to fold space to get from one end to the other because it's so vast. Versus the Nos Confunden map, where it's just a couple thousand miles away in a contained system. To me, that seems possible.
Absolutely.
Right?
And if you look at a lot of these ancient photos, I'm sure you've looked into Tartaria and a lot of these other things. But there are giant airships. I mean, like,
oh yeah,
entire hotels that were floating. I mean, with floors and
thousands of people, on these ships.
Yes.
Do you on the homeschool section? Do you follow Jake? I'm the Improbable Dreamer.
Yeah, I heard about him for you. Yep.
And just the other day, like at the time of this recording, his last couple of videos were on airships and free energy cars. They had cars in the 1800s that were electric, and they pulled the energy out of the air. Huh? Why don't we have that now?
Imagine that.
Yeah. It's so much stuff. And by the way, Sean Hibbler is doing a new movie called Old World Order, and there's Not sure if Jake's in it, but Kenny. Whoops, what happened to me?
I don't know. You just like disappeared. That's
I'm
way
coming
cool.
back. I'm coming back. I'm coming back.
He's going to rematerialize here in just.
Was I gone for that whole time? Wait a minute. What happened?
No, you just popped out. Just then, just vanished.
Oh wow.
That is weird, man.
My camera's gone. Well, whatever. I'll come. I'm trying to fix it while I'm talking. And he's doing this movie called Old World Order, and Stu Peters actually just teamed up with him, and it's going to help crank this thing out. It's going to be an epic film. Anybody that wants to go to SeanHibblerProductions.com and donate towards that movie, it is a great movie. What happened to my camera? That's not it. Wow,
So
we have all sorts of issues here.
While you're working on that, we have a question in chat. Have you guys come across the moon map concept and work by Vibes of Cosmos? I don't know if it's Vibes of Cosmos, but I have seen the moon map.
Right. Well, for some reason, I'm going. If you go on the app and you hit the images section and you type in moon map, let's see if it's in there. Oh, there it is. I got two of them. You got that one,
Dave? What map are you talking about, or what app are you talking about?
The Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. That's the app that breaks the algorithm of YouTube, or they're hiding all of the good stuff. This map, more research needs to be done, but there is some sort of connection to what we're seeing on the moon and the physical land that we live on down here. I don't know what happened to my camera, and I don't know what to do about it. It's still lit. I'm going to unplug it. Wow, wait, it's still lit. Oh no, that's that. You're still there, right?
I'm here.
Okay.
You got a black screen on your side.
I know. I got a black screen. Wonderful. I got that. All right. Well, what else? Why I'm trying to fix this? I don't know what happened here.
Well,
there we go. That's back.
Yep. You got your screen back. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing.
Okay.
I was wondering if you could pull that map up full size and maybe read off some of the names that were on that map, and we could kind of explore that a little further. I think it's interesting that all these different maps have different names for different lands. Like one I was looking at had what was like Odin, and then it had the Abyss Ocean, and then the Dried Up Ocean, or the Dead Ocean, or something. I think there's just like so much more out there that we can't imagine. One of the questions was, what kind of ethnicity were they said to look like, Dave? I think he's referring to the person who went beyond the ice wall.
I don't know. I don't remember. What you must remember.
No, I don't remember, but I assume the explorer was a white guy, right? And they spoke English. So I'm thinking he fit right in because he moved there and lived there for what, 10 years or something? And story goes. Yeah, so he must not have looked much different than the people that were already living there, or he probably wouldn't have fit in very well.
That is true.
The Great Reset seems like the perfect distraction to mount an expedition beyond the southern ice wall. Okay.
Hey, look who's back. That's
Whoa,
me.
how do you do that? Rematerialized. That's awesome, man.
There we go. I'm back. Wow.
You got superpowers you didn't know about. Look at that.
I don't know.
He is a professional presenter. Look at that. Look at how many pawns are on that map.
178. 178. It's not high res enough for me to zoom in, the one on the app here. But I do have on one of my videos that talks about this, I have a link to a Dropbox to the high res the high res map that you can download, and it's amazing. You can spend hours and hours, or just go to Vibes of the Cosmos YouTube channel, and he's got just videos that are exploring the map close up. That's kind of the way to do it. You kind of get lost in that stuff. People say the moon is a reflection of the Earth? I don't think so. I think there is some sort of correlation. I don't think it's a photo, a snapshot, a reflection. I think that there's some sort of as above, so below connection. That's my thinking. to say that it's like photographic film, I don't think that's the case. I don't think that the moon that we see is even physical. So.
No, I don't either. And I do know that the world is built upon fractals. And I think that may have something to do with reflection, fractals. There's some similarities. It's our moon, it's our nightlight. So it makes sense that it would resemble the Earth, or at least have some things that are similar to the Earth.
And think about this. There's people like Richard Dolan. He's the UFO. He's pushing for disclosure, and then of course the other people that are, some of them are definitely shills. I think Richard Dolan truly believes all the stuff that he says, and he's pushing for disclosure, the government to disclose aliens. Well, aliens aren't coming from outer space. The people, like, maybe in a couple hundred years we'll figure it out, or if you believe in outer space, then it could be a billion years before somebody gets here. It's ridiculous. But if you believe in the outer space here on flat Earth, literally extraterrestrials can come here. They could leave their extra land in the morning, come here, abduct you, take a probe of you, and then make it back in time for dinner with their kids. Okay, I mean, it's that close. Okay,
right? Yeah.
So disclosure is here. Disclosure is here. I mean, who lives out there? Maybe the giants, the Nephilim are out there, and maybe the Bible's right, and they're going to march across Antarctica and come back to Earth, walk across the ocean because they're that big. Who the hell knows? I don't know.
I've often thought that too. Maybe that ice wall is for our own good and protection. Maybe we couldn't survive in some of these other environments, or maybe we wouldn't be welcome, or maybe we're the bottom of the barrel and you got to graduate to get into these other realms. Comment here says, Earth isn't flat, but these discussions are a good exercise in scientific thinking and finding experiments to disprove your own theory. God wins name. Go ahead, Dave. You reply.
Yeah, no. I'm just, to that user, Earth isn't flat. Cool. Can you give me one proof of the globe? Just one. That's all I need. Because I can give you proof after proof after proof that it's flat. But I would just like one proof of the globe. While you're thinking of it, let me go over one, a flat Earth proof, right? So here is, let's do this one. This is a frozen lake. The large bodies of water at rest lie flat and also freeze flat. So ice is measurably, scientifically, testably, provably flat. So we got this span here. We got a camera 6 inches off the ground, right? And we have these lights here that are 8 miles, 7 miles, 6 miles, and 5 miles away, right? Adding non-existent refraction and everything, giving the globe every benefit of the doubt, these should be 30 feet, 22 feet, 15 feet, and 9 feet, hidden behind a physical bulge of ice, curving ice water, Earth curve, right? But not only are they not hidden, they all refract up their proper amounts, 30 feet, 22 feet, 15 feet, and 9 feet, to line up and appear to be level. Okay? If you can't understand that this is actually telling you that the Earth is flat, I can't help you. I can't help you, right? And the other thing is, submarines fly underwater. They have fins, they have wings, and they travel level to the surface. Now, let me ask you a question. Is the water that they're traveling through curved? Because if the Earth is curved, it would have to be curved water for them to maintain their distance from the surface to the bottom. If the Earth is curved, they would, 10 miles later, if they were 60 feet down, they'd pop right out. They'd pop out to the surface. They'd always have to keep curving downwards. But they're flying straight and level below a level sea level, not sea curve. If you can't see this, I can't help you.
Yeah, it always kills me when they say it's not flat, when that's all you've ever seen. I know for a fact, I've got a P900. As far as the eye can see, the Earth is flat. And when you fly, it's...
Well, you're too small, man. You're a microbe on a basketball, and you can't see. That's what they want to tell you, but they want to tell you because the boats go over the horizon, right? They want to tell you that this is a mirage, even though over a full day with changing weather and light and temperature, the buildings never move, right? This is the famous picture, right? But if you look, the buildings are here. They're right here. They're not moving. The day goes by. They're still here. A little clouds, a little hard to see, but then it comes back. Building hasn't moved. You can put a marker on any building. It's not moving at all. It's there. And the tops of these buildings should be hidden by Earth curve. Should be hidden, but they're there. Well, I can't see the bottom tiny bit. Well, that's because you don't understand what compression is and understand how the horizon works. You know how flat earthers always say the horizon rises to your eye level?
About,
right?
Yeah. Yep. Well, you can always see it just by looking left or right outside an airplane.
Changing it. Everyone's got to, I think everybody should change this. The horizon appears to rise to your eye level, but in fact, it's thousands of feet over your head. Thousands of feet over your head. Thousands of feet over your head. I just talked about this on my last podcast, but I'm going to talk about it again here. I got to talk about it 1,000 times until everyone gets it. So
you're talking about the actual physical horizon, not the optical.
No,
horizon.
I'm talking about the there is no physical horizon. The horizon is optical. There is no physical horizon. If the Earth was a ball, there would be a physical horizon that you could not see past, that is required to be there based on the size of the ball and the height of the person. So you ever go out on a day where you have cumulus clouds, right? And they're all sitting there on that cloud deck. And as they go into the distance, they get smaller, they get lower, and they look like they're getting lower and lower. But the clouds that you see, which are thousands of feet over your head, 25 miles away, they literally merge into the horizon like we see here. You with me? Right? So they merge into the horizon here. So someone could say, well, that's because they're going around the curve of the Earth. 25 miles, I think it's like 375 feet of curve. These clouds are more than 375 feet up. So we can prove that this is perspective. It's perspective. It's just the way that we see. All right. It's just the way that we see. So I put some mountains in here and right. So look at these clouds. See these clouds here? These are all above the ground. But when I put the mountains there, are these below the ground or are they beyond the mountain? They're beyond the mountain. Right? Are you unable to talk when you have a big screen?
Yeah, I can still talk. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't hear you. Sometimes I wonder if I get cut off. Right?
I think I'm talking over you, so that's
they're beyond the mountain. So if I move the mountain farther away or I move backwards, right? And we look, what can we say about this horizon line here? That horizon line is thousands of feet above his eyes, just like that mountain was, because it is. It's just farther away. And then the clouds are also merging into that line, and those clouds are thousands of feet above the mountain. The sun is above it, and it just goes beyond. It goes beyond it. And because it's a terrestrial object, you cannot zoom it back in. If it was a celestial object, we're a terrestrial viewer. If we viewed a boat or a city skyline, that's a terrestrial object, and we could actually zoom in, open up what's pinched out. But if it's above it and it goes beyond it, a celestial object being viewed from a terrestrial position, you cannot see it. For example, so here is the sun. We're looking straight up. So it's noon, and now it's like 1 o'clock, and the sun is going beyond that building, right? So it's beyond the building. It's not below the horizon. You with me?
Oh,
right?
yeah.
It's just beyond it. It is beyond the building, right? So if we look here, let me just pull this up. So here is our perspective grid. Everything kind of goes to the vanishing point. We got this guy. This is his eye level right here. And we throw a mountain in, just like I had before. This mountain is thousands of feet above his head. The sun's up here. The sun moves away, just like it did. It went beyond the building. It's beyond the mountain. It's not below anything. It's not below the mountain. If I floated the guy up in the air, he could see it. Or if I moved him backwards and the mountain's now in the distance, we can see the sun. He can just has a better angle. Now, this horizon line appears to be, it appears to rise to the eye level, but in reality, it's thousands of feet above his eyes, right? Whoops, what happened? I didn't want to do that. So it's thousands of feet above his eye level. So if we add the cloud, so the sun just goes away. Is it going below or is it going beyond? Like it went beyond the building. It just went beyond. But everything appears to be at eye level. So if we add the clouds, the sun's above the clouds are above the mountain, the sun goes beyond this horizontal eye zone. Now, this line right here, which appears to be at his eye level, is the top of the mountains, which are thousands of feet above his eye level. Also, the clouds have merged in there and become opaque at the same apparent eye level line, but those clouds are thousands of feet above the mountain. The sun is above that, and it just went away. It just went away. It's just going beyond, like going beyond the building. If that was a building over there, it would just go away. It would just be, it would be the building. It would be going beyond the building. Let me, I have something right here. This is, where to go?
At God's wind's name, you're going to have to do better than the sticks and shadow. That was his proof. The guy who said the earth is flat. He's going
so
with the sticks.
There's Eratosthenes, sticks and shadows.
Yeah.
Let's do that. Let's talk about sticks and shadows.
Let's do some.
Let's talk about it. Yeah. So whatever that guy's name is, pay attention. We're going to show you that you've been brainwashed. We're going to show you why that's not real, and then you could throw it out and you can scatterbrain to your next proof, right? So we're told that Eratosthenes saw that the sun's so far away that its sun rays come in parallel, right? Sun rays come in parallel. Have you ever seen parallel rays? Has anyone ever seen parallel rays? No one ever sees parallel rays. Okay, but for some reason he thought there was parallel rays. So here's Eratosthenes right here, and he's got his stick or his well. Story keeps changing, and he's got no shadow because the sun rays are coming in parallel. Interesting. No one's ever seen that. And then his buddy, if you believe history, because you have to believe history if you believe in Eratosthenes, he had him walk 500 miles away. He counted his steps. Imagine that, walking 500 miles away, and then you're like, what number was I on? Oh, frig, right? And so he goes 500 miles away, and then somehow I think he had a cup with a string, and they pull it really tight, and they talk to each other, which would prove the earth is flat because thered be a hump of curve. But he put up his stick, and he can measure the shadow, did some math, and figured out the circumference of the ball. Awesome. But on a flat earth with a small local sun, here's Eratosthenes, here's his friend, here's the shadow. You could do the same math and figure out the sphericity of this flat plane. All right. So what that shows you is it's nonsense. Also, back when Eratosthenes did that, they believed in the geocentric Earth. So if they believed in a giant, infinitely far sun and a tiny little Earth, how the hell does the sun go around the Earth? Right. So they literally got their stories all screwed up. Right. Eratosthenes never saw parallel rays. He saw corpuscular rays. And on a flat Earth, it works perfectly. Now, I'm just showing you some pictures. So, what can you do it yourself? Here, take some of the beers that you were drinking and put a light over one of them and have no shadow. And here's a shadow here. Do some math and figure out the sphericity of your flat floor because you can do it. That's what Eratosthenes did. So you should be able to do it too. And then you can, tell somebody that your house is a sphere. It's very cool. Right. And then they brainwashed us with Carl Sagan on the show Cosmos, which when the time that came out, I loved it. I thought this was great. And he's showing, Eratosthenes, there's no shadow. And then he said, only on a curve, right? Where he bends it and then he points this one towards the sun and there's no shadow here. And he says he figured it out. Guess what? If the earth was a ball and the sun was infinitely far, this would be true. But it's not. It's not. Because the whole story is stupid. And by the way, he's the guy that figured it out 2,000 years ago. and no one ever wrote it in any books until the 1900s. There's no story about, no history of that. It's like writing the history of the Chicago Bulls and forgetting to mention Michael Jordan, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Absolute, complete and total nonsense.
Okay,
Complete
he doesn't
total.
like what you're saying. He wants to get off this terrestrial stuff, and everybody knows the answer to the Earth's flat or not is in the sky. So here's another one from God's Wind's name. Describe very precisely the orbits of the moon and the sun and Venus and Jupiter at all times from all places on Earth correctly. A flat Earth
Yeah.
map cannot get this done.
That's actually incorrect. The first you have to say, how do you know what size these are, what they are, anything? They're all basing that off of the diameter of the Earth, the radius of the Earth, which was made up. It was a made up story. The problem is, just jumping through the Big Bang, nothing exploded, became everything, and then all the rocks turned into balls, and all the gases collapsed upon each other and made stars when gases violently fill available space. But in space, they collapse upon each other so big and so massive that even though they burn like 300 billion tons of fuel a day, our sun, it doesn't get any smaller ever after billions of years. It's so big that 300 billion, I think it's 300 billion an hour or a minute or whatever, even if it was just a day. That's a lot of helium and hydrogen, which causes gravity somehow when it's in space, when it defies gravity here on Earth. So you got the sun holding on to Venus and Earth and Mars and Pluto. It's holding on to Pluto with its gravity. If the sun was a golf ball, how far away would Earth be? Take a guess. I think I got this right. How far away would Earth be?
A couple hundred miles.
Wait a minute. Is it no. It's something, it's how far away is Earth? I think it's 70 miles, or maybe it was something else. The numbers are so stupid, right? You got this golf ball. Did you ever see when they made that scale model in the desert of the sun and the planets and the moon? And they had like a big blow up ball, like a bouncy house, and that was the sun. So it's like 30 feet high.
Oh, I did see that a long time ago.
And then they literally had to drive miles away to put an orange on the field, miles and miles and miles, and then a golf ball, and and somehow the sun is able to hold on to all of them. Here's my question. What and Jupiter, by the way, made out of 98% hydrogen and helium, also has more gravity than the rest of the planets combined. That's what they tell us. Hydrogen and helium has more gravity than all of the other planets combined, right? And then we have planetary alignments all the time. And why don't the planets tug on each other when we have a lunar eclipse? Not a lunar. When we have a new moon, why doesn't the sun pull the moon away from the Earth? None of this stuff makes any sense. You know about the three-body problem?
You
do. Whoops, that's not.
Yeah, but
I wanted to hear.
Go ahead and show us. Yeah. He was wanting to know about the.
Yeah. The three-body problem. The three-body problem is this: we can calculate, for two bodies, but if you have three bodies and they all have the gravity, and you put them into orbits, they go into complete and total chaos mode. Let me see. Here we go. And no computer can figure out what they're going to do next. But for some reason, all of the stars and the planets, with all of their gravities and all of the different intersections, and while we're whirling and twirling and cruising in different directions, they're a perfect clock. Perfect. More accurate than any watch, because any watch on Earth is based off of the sky clock. Does that sound like a random beehive gravitational nonsensical model? Or does that sound like something that's perfectly designed? Your problem, your model can't explain any of this, right? And falsification is independent of replacement. So the fact that We can prove that the gravitational model is nonsense. We can't figure out 3 bodies of the same size, but somehow, all the eclipses repeat every 18 years. All of the eclipses repeat every 18 years. Does that sound like a gravitational model, or it sound like a perfect working clock? So again, I don't even know why we're talking about this stuff, because you can't have high pressure uncontained in a vacuum. But for some reason, you just take it. Well, of course we can, because there is. You're reifying a presumption with zero evidence. You're in a cult. You're literally in a cult.
I would also add to this that they had the motion and locations of the planets figured out long before the globe Earth was ever introduced. What's the mechanism? The Antikythera mechanism? Is that what it's called?
The Antikythera mechanism. And there's a new movie out. It's on the app on the FE movies section on the more resources page, and it's called The Mechanical Realm, and it's literally about the Antikythera mechanism. These guys took it down, broke it down, and it is literally a working model from 2,000 years ago. It's a working flat Earth model that predicts eclipses, phases of the sun, of the moon, the location of planets on a flat Earth. So when you say that we can't predict anything, watch that movie. You won't, because it's an hour and 40 minutes, and you'd actually have to think for that amount of time, right? And then you will know that explains everything, and the heliocentric model doesn't explain anything. You're in a cult. They want you to think that this is what a cult member, a cult looks like, but in reality, this is a cult leader, okay? And you're in the cult worshiping this stupid CGI globe.
It is. It has to be a religion, because like I said, there's no evidence, no terrestrial evidence whatsoever that I can find. So he didn't like that one either, but here's his next comment.
It's called he's scattering. We basically, you knock it down. He's like, okay, I'll move to the next one. Okay, I'll move to the next one. But he'll just keep on going. Good. Let's hear the next one. I like it, actually.
I think he's talking about your observations and things disappearing. But no, the object automatically angles with the path you're taking. The water also curves, so the pressure curves. So you too curve in a submarine or airplane in the sky. I could jump all over that, but I'm going to let Dave tear it up. Go ahead.
What he's saying, that the water pressure, the submarine is following the water pressure. No one's ever claimed that except this guy. He's just making up crap because he's trying to defend his model. No one ever claims that. I've never even heard that.
And he's also kind of referring to how airplanes, they don't notice the curve because they're stuck in the same motion, and that motion is curved, and it's nonsense.
So the SR 71 or whatever it is, the Blackbird, at its 2,300 miles an hour or whatever, it would have to nose down 80 stories. That's almost as tall as the World Trade Towers. 80 stories a second to follow the curve. 80 stories a second. That would kill anybody on it. And by the way, those planes, when they're flying that fast, they can't turn. They can only go straight, right? And straight is not curved. They're going too fast to take any turns at that speed.
Structural integrity, or what? It's too much.
No, it can only go straight when it's going that fast, and it would fly off into space. It would have to know. It would be 80 stories higher every second. Okay, that's impossible. Impossible.
Now, I hear a lot of people say that the airplanes automatically compensate for the curvature of the Earth, but we've looked into that, and that's not true, is it? I mean,
it's not true at all.
Right.
It's not true at all. And I have lots of major airline pilots that have been talking to me, and these guys know. They're saying now, years ago, before they had all this fancy equipment, pilots had to know how to build their plane if they were going to fly it. If anything went wrong, they have to literally know how to build the plane. But now the pilots for these major airlines, they're not taught how anything works. If they ask in flight school, how does that work? They're told, you don't need to know that. Just read the numbers and then do this procedure. They're not allowed to know any of it. They don't even know how gyros work, right? Gyros hold rigidity in space. And they would show Earth curve, right? They would show that the Earth is curving, but they're like, oh no, the gyro has a thing that adjusts. But there was a recent case where the box that adjusts the gyro that no one's allowed to look into wasn't working on this plane. And normally they just swap them out. And the box basically says, nobody open this. It can only be serviced by XYZ company. And the airport didn't have one. And the plane's loaded. And the control tower said, well, go ahead. Just radio in every 15 minutes. We'll give you an adjustment to adjust for the curve. And every 15 minutes, the pilot called in. They're like, oh, no adjustment, no adjustment, no adjustment. So the pilot got very, very interested in what's going on there. And he called the company and he couldn't get through anybody. He's like, pilots are treated like royalty when they go to Lockheed or wherever. And he can't get anyone to talk to him. And then he finds out that this company is a division of NASA. Like, these boxes do nothing other than trick the human race, that there is curvature, and there's none. There's no curvature at all. You can't see it, although, you can see a boat going over the horizon because Bill Nye said so. We can see too far. Explain that. Every day I can see too far.
It's refraction, Dave.
It's so stupid.
That's a refraction that always brings things to exactly where it should be if the Earth was flat. It's
all like I showed you on the ice before. Everything refracts up to stop at eye level and fool you. Everything just go to stop, and fool you. It's so stupid. It's upsetting. They want you to believe that this is going on the Earth. We're spinning and whirling and twirling, and it's so stupid. It's
so
unbelievable.
FB Nation says the moon is physical, not a reflection of the Earth. The Go Fast rocket footage showed that. However, maybe reflection is not a good word. Projection. I'm not 100% sure it's a physical thing. And yeah, I did see that video, and you could see the moon, which in itself proved the Earth was flat because the moon was, I think, over Australia, which should have been.
Yeah, it was over Australia, and we shouldn't be able to. You shouldn't be able to see it. Here is let me show you this one. Said, this is what you have to believe is going on when you're flying. So when the airplane's right here, it's moving sideways at 1,000 miles an hour, right? Because the Earth is spinning 1,000 miles an hour here. When it's up here, it's moving sideways at 0 miles an hour. 0, right? 100, 200, 300, 400, 5, 6, 7, 1,000, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, right? So how is it changing that sideways tangential velocity for all of those different locations?
I know.
How do you know? It's not. Well, air curve. No, airplane flies over the Earth plane. And this one is very interesting. If you are flying, right, from your point of view, you're always on the top of the globe. So this is what you have to believe will be happening if you're flying around the world. And you're diving over the globe, which is making these stars appear to rise up. Like this star that was right in front of you, or moon, whatever it is, soon it'll be over your head as you dive halfway over the globe. Make sense? With
Absolutely.
me?
Yep.
Okay. So here's a flight from Germany to Brazil, I believe it was. And the stars are not moving up at all. It's just when he's turning, they're not moving it up at all. Right? So physical reality shows you this, but if you model it on Google Earth, just like I was showing you, Google Earth says this is what should be happening to the stars. They should be rising up. They should go right over your head. Now, the Globers, the anti-flat earthers, they're like, well, that's because the spin of the Earth and it was going, it's going west or east, and it was negating it. All right, cool. But when the pilot flies back in the opposite direction, that means the stars should move twice as fast. They should whip by. Like when you're riding on the highway on a road and there's a car next to you and you're both going at the same speed, that car is kind of just staying there. But if you come back the other way, it's going to go whip by you. But this is not what we see. Reality shows us this. Okay? There is no explanation for this on a globe. So what the Globers will do is jump to their next belief, their next religious dogma, cultish belief. Nonsense.
Yeah, I love that. The first time I saw you show that one, because that's undeniable proof, and it's not even terrestrial. You know, we're in the air. It's proving it beyond a
Right.
shadow.
And you can't claim refraction. You can't claim anything. It's an unbelievable. And then the other one that Jaron has been working on. Are you aware of the daylight, the time from sunset to darkness?
Absolutely. I've been recording. I haven't turned it into Jaron, but I've been watching it, and it's very fascinating that it's happening the same for everybody, regardless of
there
which.
Is now, no matter where you are, literally at the same latitude, it could be different. It all depends on what mountains, if there's mountains or water in the distance, whatever. And so the amount of daylight that you have is different for every location. That's not what we're measuring. What we're measuring is from the time the top of the sun disappears beyond the horizon. So the sun's gone, it's still light. Now I'm in Connecticut. When I'm in Connecticut in June and July, it's light for another 2 hours. Literally, it's almost 2 full hours before it gets dark. And that's interesting. So that would mean in December, someone at an equal latitude should have 2 hours of brightness. But what's happening everywhere on Earth, everywhere, if you measure whatever amount of time it is from sunset to darkness, it's getting shorter for everybody up to December. And then it gets longer for everybody up to June. That is zero. There's no explanation for that on a globe. It would have to be symmetrical. We have 2 hours of sunlight, of daylight after sunset in the north in June. That would mean someone at an equal southern latitude should have 2 hours of light after sunset, but they don't. It gets shorter and shorter and shorter to December and longer and longer and longer. And that's because when the sun is going out in June, it's here going at same angular speed. Its linear speed is much slower. And out here, it's going much faster because this is a bigger loop. And that faster dictates the amount of time from sunset to darkness. There is no explanation. This alone breaks the globe.
Exactly. Another comment from the chat. If the NASA teachings and models were correct, then we would see new stars in our sky, but we don't. And that's because the Earth is not moving.
You know, 100%, but it's worse than that. A star is a gas ball in a vacuum. Stop right there. Stop. You're making up crap. You can't have a gas ball. Gas violently fills the available space. Get a container of gas, a container with gas, sealed container, put it in a vacuum chamber and open it up. It'll probably explode before you even open it. Or have a vacuum and, not a vacuum cleaner, a void, a box with all the air sucked out of it, and then open a valve on any side of it at any altitude, anywhere. The air is going to violently fill the container. But in space, gases just collapse and create nuclear furnaces that never burn out and that have perfect gravity and follow. It's so stupid. It's so stupid that, I think very bad things for these people sometimes.
I do too. And they were just having a discussion on Globebusters about how physics is not scalable. What works on Earth in a small scale is going to be the same thing when you use something big, like a ping pong ball floats, a basketball floats, and they're saying, well, once you get so far away, the physics, is different. It's not, or there's no proof of that. I mean, it has to be that way for them to get away with all their lies and stuff. I'm not sure what this comment means. Maybe you'll catch what they're saying. I'm sorry. Did you have something you want to add? Okay.
No, I was just going to say that the person that's commenting, so he's brought up 3 things already. We've completely knocked them out. Is he going to come up with more? Is he going to go run away crying? Or is he going to be like, you know what? Maybe my whole life is a lie and I should reassess.
He said, whatever, bye-bye.
Yeah, of course. It's amazing. I don't understand it. And I was that guy. But then after I started throwing things out and they kept getting knocked down, I'm like, wow, maybe I need to reassess my life. I reassessed it. I'm in Mexico for 2 months right now. All right. Before I was a flat earther, this wasn't even a possibility. All right. Life is amazing.
It is. I love my life. What a beautiful little life we've carved out for ourselves, Dave.
Yeah. Yes.
So I'm not sure what he's even referring to here. The distance he used was very different used than what we are told today. Values change, will change the output of the function. Yet he is proclaimed at finding the circumference of the earth.
I don't have the circumference of the earth. I mean, the maybe I'm not sure what he's exactly saying there, but
I don't
you know, they found the circumference of the earth. They found the radius. They said Venus, which is about the same size as Earth, passed in front of the sun, and people on the East Coast and West Coast filmed it or measured it, and they started and stopped at different times, and they did some math, and they figured out the radius of the Earth. Well, awesome math, amazing. What's the problem with that? The problem with that is they said Venus is the same size as Earth.
Nobody measured Venus. That's the problem.
Yeah. Venus could be the size of a basketball. You know, it could be, it could be 5 miles over our head. We don't know. We don't know what Venus is. And when Venus went in front of the sun, it was transparent, if anyone noticed that. It's, you know, and then like I was looking up at the stars last night. Jupiter was right over our heads. And it's literally, if you didn't know it was Jupiter, the thing that they call Jupiter, you go, wow, that's a friggin' bright star. It's as bright as the sun. It's just small, right? But it's big. It's big for a star. And you have to believe that Jupiter, the dusty, not dusty, dirty gas ball is reflecting sunlight back to us where it's so bright. And that sunlight that it's reflecting isn't from a sun that like we see. It's from a sun that's much farther away, a much smaller sun. So that distant sun is reflecting off of the non-reflective surface of Jupiter and coming back to our eyes here where it's bright as can be. But I see the moons going around Jupiter, right? Now you see some lights going around Jupiter, okay? I mean, I've seen bees flying around a beehive. Does that mean that we're, a beehive? We live on a beehive, right?
Right, yeah. Well,
it's so stupid. I get so frustrated.
What's this one? It would fly off into space.
It's 2024, people. Good.
Showing they don't know how planes work because they need lift from their air to fly, so they won't just go off into space. I'm not sure.
You're no. He's saying that if you don't, so you're saying that after you get to a certain height, it's not going to go any higher. You might be right, but I don't think that they don't even know how airplanes fly. They think that it's the curved wing that is creating the low pressure, which might be part of it. But airplanes fly upside down. How does that work with the curved part underneath? Okay, there's an electrostatic component of this, and I think it's called the Bernoulli's. I forget what it's called. But there's as the air goes over the wing, it causes a current. I don't think it's just the air pressure, but that's to be debated by lots of people, but not me.
Bill Bob wants Dave to explain how Southern Flights proved the flat Earth, because they said they had a video coming out like 4 months ago, but he can't seem to find it.
Who?
Bill Bob. I don't know. He says, I don't know if this has been talked about, but can you ask Dave how Southern Flights proved the flat Earth? Well, that's yeah. You've got it on your app. I've seen you talk about Southern Flights.
Yeah. So there's tons right on the app. To search Southern Flights in the image section, and you'll find all of these. But if we're on a ball, and you have the equator here, and the top is the north, any two flights between any of the northern airports, doesn't matter which ones, you would never go below the equator. And guess what? Nobody ever does, because it would be stupid. You'd be going out of your way. So the same thing is true on a sphere Earth. Any two southern locations, you would never go above the equator. But for some reason, they do. Why don't we go right across here from Sydney to it goes from Rio to Sydney, stops in Los Angeles, goes all the way up. Why don't you just go over here? Oh, well, we got to drop off passengers. Baloney. People want to go over here. People want to go to Sydney, right? They go all the way up. But you look at it on a flat Earth, makes perfect sense. Perfect sense. So we'll go across a couple of these. Hold on. Again, another southern flight from Auckland to what does that say? Lima, Peru. It goes all the way up to Los Angeles again. But it crosses the equator twice. Why would you do that? Why wouldn't you just go across here? Okay, this one alone, done, finished. We're finished. It's over. You don't need to even look at any other ones, but we'll look at some other ones, right? Here's one, Auckland to Mexico City, stops in Los Angeles again. Makes perfect sense, right? Why would they go up and over and not just straight over? Right? People that ask this question and then see this and then deny it, that they've got a problem. They've got a massive problem, right? All of these make zero sense on a globe. They're stupid on a globe, but people still want to believe them. People still want to believe them, right? Here is on a flat Earth from LA to Beirut, right? Look at it on a globe. It goes all the way up here. Oh, it's a great circle route. Bull crap. Now, I do understand this is a flat representation and there would be some curve on it, but isn't it coincidental that it touches all the same land points on a flat Earth map? This is a flat Earth map. Okay. It touches all the same land points. Boom, 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 boom. Crazy. Crazy. It's so ridiculous. This is a flight for this is the women's soccer team, and this is what flight radar shows. And it's just a straight line on a flat Earth map. Straight line on a flat Earth map. Now, here's one that some people say, well, wait a minute. You know, they're going from what does it say? Brazil, I can't, it's hidden on mine. Brazil, is that Brazil to Sydney? Brazil to Sydney stops in Tahiti. Now, wait, if the Earth is flat, why didn't they go stop in the United States or Canada? That's a straight line. Do you know why they don't do that? Why don't they do that? You there? Did I lose you?
Sorry, I didn't. I thought it was a rhetorical question.
No. So I'm asking you. So on a globe, first they would cross straight over here. They're not going over Antarctica. Don't want to disturb the penguins, right? That's the short route on the globe. That's the great circle route on the globe, right? But they don't. They can't go that way and pop up over there. So they go this way. Why do they go all the way over here to Tahiti and over here and not stop in the United States or Canada for fuel and then go? If the Earth was flat, why don't they?
If the Earth is flat, I don't know.
Wouldn't that make more sense that they stop in like California or Alaska or somewhere? That would be a straight line.
Yeah,
I just froze. I just froze. My finger just froze. Oh, I don't know. All right. Well, am I frozen on your side?
Visually, but audio is still good.
All right. So the answer is because these are women soccer players, and many of them don't have passports, and Tahiti does not require them to go through customs. If they stop in the United States or Canada, they all have to have passports, and they don't. So they go a little bit out of their way to bypass some bureaucratic bullshit.
Interesting.
Isn't that interesting?
That is interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. And now I'm frozen. So, oh boy.
Sarah says she'd be curious to hear your thoughts on the black sun idea.
Black sun. Let me see if I unplug my camera.
I think she might be referring. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. The black sun is very interesting. I'm still learning about that. But if you're a sun gazer, why am I frozen? If you're a sun gazer, at sunrise or sunset, close one eye and watch the sun very carefully with one eye. Stare at it, relax, and it becomes black. You literally can see the black sun. And then you start realizing that what you're seeing isn't what you think you're seeing. It's crazy. It's crazy. I did it the other day and I was like, holy God, cover one eye. And and look at the sun, and you'll see it. It'll start flashing black. You'll see the edges shimmering a little bit, and then it'll be black. I don't fully understand it, but again, this world is not what we think it is. As you see it, so maybe we can wrap it up.
Okay. Let me run through the rest of these.
You still there?
I am here. Can you not hear me? Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you, and I see you. I don't know why that I'm frozen.
There you go. I kicked you out and put you back in. Maybe that'll do it. Bill said he was referring to the non-stop Southern flights is what he was referring to. He said, that's all right.
The non-stop. Again, on the app, if you go to the, let's see if I'm really frozen. If you go to the Southern flight routes, which is right here, and you scroll down, there's a whole bunch explaining how these Southern flight routes work, the nonstop flights. They're catching air current. There's 40,000 feet. There's 300-mile-an-hour winds. And these flight routes make perfect sense. The Dreamliner, the Boeing Dreamliner that goes from Santiago to Auckland, it has 7 layers of heat-resistant paint on it. Isn't that weird? 7 layers of heat-resistant paint. Bizarre. But if you go through these videos, there's a whole bunch in there that fully explain these routes and how the times make perfect sense. And sometimes, lots of times, these flights are canceled at the last second, and they're rerouted through 2 or 3 stops. Instead of taking the 14 or 15 hours, they take 26 hours. Why is that? It's because the winds weren't cooperating and they canceled the flight. The winds are pretty damn consistent, but they do that. And sometimes the flight, we're 5 hours late. What happened? Why are you 5 hours late? If you're just flying consistent speeds, why are you 5 hours late? Want me to jump out and come back?
Yeah, let's try.
Let me try it.
Sylvia says when rockets are launched to space, they always fall into the ocean, hit the visible disturbance. Yeah, I think most of them end up in the Bermuda Triangle. Hey, good to see you here, Mad Cat Sphere. Hope you'll be able to join me next month. James Worley says astral projection from anyone that is even remote spiritual advance destroys the idea of flat Earth. It's metaphysically absurd to think. People have even projected to the moon. Okay, you have absolutely zero evidence that anyone has ever astral projected unless you've done it yourself, which I have. I didn't see a ball Earth. Here's another comment from James. There is a massive reason why ancient people worship the sun. Yeah, it's the bringer of life. But also, all ancient people knew the Earth was flat. If you go back and look, everyone from the Mayans to the Egyptians to worldwide, everywhere you look, everyone knew the Earth was flat. The globe Earth is actually a fairly new concept. I mean, they were teaching flat Earth not so long ago, like late 40s, early 50s. They were still teaching flat Earth.
That's right. That's right. They were. My OBS is restarting. You got to give it a second for my camera to come back up, but you can hear me, so that's good.
No worries. Yeah. So I don't know where people got this idea. You've never seen it. You've never experienced it. No one even thought that until they discovered what I think was the firmament, Operation High Jump, and all those. And then they had this. Don't look at Antarctica because you're going to find out the truth. Look up there. Look at space. And that's when the whole globe thing started getting taught in the public, was when they were trying to hide it. And the first picture of the globe, there's only, I think, 2 that are supposed to be actual snapshots, real photographs of Earth. And if you've seen or haven't seen the documentary, Something Weird Happened on the Way to the Moon, you can see how they faked that shot in and of itself. There are no real photos. If the moon were solid and the Earth was a ball, there would be a camera on it, okay? Use your mind. We have remote control cars on Mars, but we can't put a camera on the moon.
Yeah, and
Wake
the
up.
same side of the moon always faces the Earth, so it would be the perfect spot to put a
Perfect.
camera to film the Earth because it would never move. You could film it. It would be the most watched live stream ever.
Guaranteed. Yeah. Yeah, you can find live streams of hamsters mating, but you can't find a live stream of the Earth spinning in space. Come on. Come on.
Right.
The whole point of round Earth is to make you believe that you are an accident of Darwinism and that we live in a godless world, which is certainly not the case. That is exactly right. They're trying to hide their creator and your importance as being the apex species in the center of creation. We are so much more than evolved pond scum, people. We are amazing people with amazing abilities living in an amazing place designed specifically for us. Here we go. James Worley says Sumerians knew it was round, and I know it is too. People have known that longer than you think. No, the Sumerians also knew the earth was flat. Give us a link or some type of proof to back up what you're saying. And round and spherical are two different things. I think maybe the earth is round, but it's flat. You know, a quarter is also round. So I don't know. I don't know anything about the Sumerians having a spherical cosmology. You have to pop a link in there, James, or something. And I respect you. And he's got a dinosaur as his avatar, which I'm not 100% sure dinosaurs
Oh boy. You know, the guy that discovered that theorized, you know, no one had ever found a dinosaur in all of megalithic history of buildings. But in the 1800s, some royal guy speculated that dinosaurs existed. And then a year later to the day, he and his team discovered the first dinosaur. Please.
Yeah. What are the odds?
Yeah. Yeah. They're hiding dragons is what they're doing.
Now, I do believe in giants and dragons more so than dinosaurs.
Absolutely. Well, the Chinese calendar zodiac has 13 animals, 12 fake and 12 real and 1 fake. Why does it have 1 fake one on there?
Mm-hmm. Because it's not fake. That's what I think.
Yeah.
It shows how big God actually is, what it really is.
Yeah.
I don't know. If I was creating a place, I think I'd just make it flat where you didn't need magical gravity and reflection to make it look flat. I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me. I respect your opinion, but you need to look into it. You need to get some long distance opticals, be it binoculars or telescope or a P900 or a P1000, and just go out and find you some curvature, man. I've been looking for 10 years. I can't find any curvature. Wow, your OBS is like strobing out, dude.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's cool, man. Warning, seizure warning. Sadness and sorrow befalls the man. Referring to there, but yeah, if you don't know where you are, who you are, or what you are, you're not going to make it very far. But I think we were definitely intelligently designed, and this place we're living in is clearly intelligently designed. And to think that man knows half of the truth is far-fetched. I mean, we don't understand how the whole human body works. We haven't explored a vast majority of the ocean. To think we're exploring Mars and other planets and stuff is just absurd to me. I don't see how people are still buying into this. Twilight Nights says, great show, Trevor and Dave. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Gravity brings things towards the earth. Down beyond that point doesn't. Okay. There's no action. Gravity is a theory, my friend.
Yeah.
T exists. Yep. Right after S and right before U, T exists. I would have to agree with that one. All right. I think we're caught up on the chats at least. But yeah, I think it's neat to know that there's more to be explored. We think we know everything already, but what is the reason we can't go to the North Pole? Is it has something to do with the military or something, Dave? Why can't we explore the North Pole?
I don't know why. Because they find out the Earth is flat. That's why.
But I mean, why aren't we? Why aren't flat earthers funding an expedition to the North Pole?
How are you going to do there? How are you going to get there? You're not allowed to. Governments won't allow you to. You know,
that's what are there restrictions or?
Yeah. And it's just not something that's that easily done either. Here we go. I think I'm gonna. Oh, all right. I'm
Silvio says
almost
there's no
there.
cool. There's no proof of gravity, only proof of density and buoyancy. That's not 100% true. There is something determining down, and we think it's electrostatics or electromagnetism or what have you that determines which way's down. But yeah, after that, density and buoyancy pretty much work everything else out. The word gravity really comes from gravitas, which means weight. So I think people need to look into it. If you're still believing in gravity and the ball cosmology, you just haven't looked deep enough because it's not that hard to find the truth. I'll admit it was easier in 2013 when I started looking at it. Now the algorithms are set against you. So you're going to need some help like flatearthdave.com or the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac clock app to where you can get to some of these videos. Now, does watching a video mean it's true? No, but it will give you things that you can look into. You can verify yourself. Then you can start doing some optic things on Earth and start looking for stellar parallax. I had a pipe strapped to the side of a shed that pointed at the star in the Big Dipper, and every year for like 4 years in a row on the same day, the star's in the same spot. You don't travel millions and millions of miles an hour through infinite space, never to return to the same place and have the same view. It's like the Flintstones, when they're running their little car, it's like tree, house, tree, bush, tree, house. You don't see the same thing over and over again.
That's a good point. That's good. I like that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's crazy for people to believe that. And if you don't understand that, just go out and look. Every time, at certain times of the year, the Big Dipper is always in the same spot. Every year. So, we're not going anyplace. The sky is turning at a perfect pace. It's a clock. You can literally set your clock by the sky. So we're not traveling through infinite space. Let's see. Sue says, I'll assume my previous questions about space just can't be answered here in public. I don't know what your previous question was. Density and buoyancy cease to exist during free fall. There is one motion. It is the motion that gives us a vector. Without motion, there is no density or buoyancy. I'm not sure if I follow that. I think there's density and buoyancy regardless of motion. Maybe I don't understand you completely. Further explain. Bad Cat says true. James Worley, a theory isn't the same thing as a hypothesis. I know that. I didn't say gravity was a hypothesis. If something is science is called a theory, it's pointing to a reality, not an opinion. Not true. Perhaps you need to look up the definition of theory. What's up, Dave?
Am I back?
No, you're not.
Look, I'm almost back.
There you are. There you are.
I'm like Venus transiting the sun.
Well, you're kind of translucent, man. You're showing off all your magical powers on my channel. I really appreciate that.
I don't know what's going on here.
Invisibility, and now he's transparent. Terry says,
don't know what happened.
Longer rise. Bubbles no longer rise in free fall, and heavy objects no longer sink. Okay.
Oh, there's people believe that the Earth is rising upwards because it's so stupid when you look into it.
The Flat Earth Society nonsense. Yeah.
No, not Flat Earth Society. There's actually a channel Beyond the Imaginary Curve. Dell. He he's lost into believing that the Earth. He believes the falling water means the Earth is rising. He refuses to accept the fact that there's a downward electric flow, and that gives a downward bias. It explains everything, but he's unwilling to look at that. I don't know why, so it's a little crazy.
Terry, everything I say can and has been demonstrated over and over again. So who demonstrated gravity? I don't know. I'm not going to argue with you, bro, but gravity is a theory, and there's a lot better explanation. Density, buoyancy, and electrical charge makes way more sense than bendy time space to me. Come on.
Yeah.
That is an archaic belief, I do believe. All right. So, what do you think it means, Dave? Um, what about life? I mean, in general, what does it mean to be a human living on a flat Earth that was designed specifically for us? What does that imply? Does that mean we're important, or maybe we're all little aspects of God trying to experience reality, or just
We're
what's the
at the
big
center.
picture?
We're at the center of creation. You know, we are important. We are powerful. They don't want us to know um, our history, who we are. They don't want us to know the amazing abilities that we have. They don't want us to know any of that. They want to control us. They want to farm us. They want to use our energy to create their world. You
I couldn't
know,
agree more.
revelation of the method. You know, I used to say that they have to tell us. Now I changed it to they need to tell us, because when they pre-program us, like, Leave the World Behind, the Obama film, they have everybody focusing on this dystopian future, and then at the same time that movie comes out, all through the news, Mark Zuckerberg's building a multi-million-dollar bunker, which is exactly like the bunker in the movie. And they want people focusing on this so the demons can say, well, your prophets, are thinking about this and saying this, therefore we can do it. And I think that's how this world works. Um, to people that don't believe in any of that, that sounds absolutely crazy, but doesn't mean it's not true.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another comment from James. People in the South would all see different views of the sky if it South really meant around, but it doesn't. Okay, that doesn't really make a lot of sense. But the reason they see different stars in the South is because the same reason that people in a huge building see different lights above them when they're at the far end than the people who are at this end. It works on a flat Earth, dude.
Yeah.
It's
When
just
you're
big.
when you're in Santiago looking south and you can see a star, someone in Australia can't see that because they're looking south and it's daytime, it's noon. But then 12 hours later, those stars are now over here and they're looking south at the same stars.
Yeah, it makes sense
Pretty
if you
basic.
really think about
Pretty
it.
basic. Pretty basic
I had to
stuff.
put the smiley face on my ceiling to explain this to one of my friends
Yeah.
about why we see the moon upside down and from the south and stuff. And
If you
really, you can
wanna
break all this stuff down.
if you want a good video, you hit the video search and write shill in the moon.
Like CHILL, chill.
No, shill, like a
Chill.
person, like
SH.
an anti-flat earther, shill on the moon, and then this video comes up, and it's a great video where I have.
I've not seen that one.
So basically it's two Globers
You're not
talking about.
sharing. You're not sharing your app if
Oh,
you're
I'm not
trying.
sharing. Damn it. So
There it is.
I typed in shill on the moon in the search, and then this came up, and they're like, this is how we see, they're showing here. This is how you see, why it's upside down. And I'm like, on a flat Earth, it's the same thing. But where's the? Oh, so this is my living room, and this is my northern hemichair, right? And then we have the equator, which is right here, and then over here on the other side of the room is the southern hemichair, right? And so this is my flat Earth living room. And when we look up at the moon, we see that's from the equator. Oh, is that one from the equator? Right. So we go over here and we look up at the moon again. And you see it in here? He is the other way. Right? When we go to the other side of the room, it'll be upside down. And that's how we see the moon upside down. So he's upside down there. He was right side up from the other side of the room. Does that mean my room is a sphere? My
Yes,
floor is spherical because
you're on
the moon is spherical?
You have an oblate spheroid living room. I don't know how you did it.
I do.
It was a nightmare for the people constructing it, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Suze, no, your question is not showing up. I'm not sure. Terry invites you to come and have a discussion. Well, you don't invite him, you book him. So you can go to Flat Earth Dave, you can book. And if you're going to explain gravity, you might want to invite Neil deGrasse Tyson and all the leading scientists because nobody else understands how it works.
So Neil deGrasse Tyson just put out a short video. Again, more damage control, because when we show how all rockets, curve over, right? So we have rockets; they all curve like that, and we've pointed out that makes no sense. If you watch like a plane spraying a chemtrail, it's a straight line, and it's not making as much of a curve as this nonsense. And he's like, 95% of all of that fuel on the rocket isn't to get it up and away from Earth. It's to get it downrange, to get it to go sideways. He just literally made a short video, with his other co-host, like who's always fascinated with everything he says. Oh my God, you're a god, Neil. And he said 95% of the fuel, I forget, I think it was 95%, is meant to get it sideways. Because
that never made any sense to me whatsoever.
Well, it actually made sense to me because it has to go faster so it can break away from Earth. That made sense to me as a globetard.
I guess, but still, isn't the
but now they're
a straight line?
Yeah.
I don't get it either. And when we saw the Go Fast rocket, you didn't see them hurling out at an angle and projecting down. That thing is straight up like you'd think a rocket really should.
Do you ever see this? This is the Artemis. The flight. It's going to go around, and it goes out here, and it goes around the moon, and it whips back, and it does all the stuff. Right? This is from NASA. But if we zoom in, look what map they're using on the Earth. It's the flat Earth map.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
Put this up. We made some video that started going around a lot, and they changed it.
I was going to say they'll fix that in a little bit. They watch you. They watch Jaron. They watch Globebusters.
They change it.
They are. Guys are tearing it up.
I think NASA should send us some super chats. Don't you think?
I agree, man.
Yeah. That would be
you're
fun.
Always one step ahead of them, and they're like, "Oh shoot!"
Just a half a day's budget is all we'd like. Just one half day's budget.
Yeah,
okay?
What is that? $40 million.
$40 million. $40 million.
What is the background behind Dave? It looks pretty cool. What is the light? I don't know. What are you using for your background?
Oh, this light right here?
Yeah.
I'm in a torture chamber. I don't know, man. It was just I needed a nondescript kind of background. I searched on Google and I found this, and I've had it ever since. You know what? No one's ever questioned it until today. You're the second person today that questioned it. So
really?
Now I have to change it. Yeah.
No
one's ever questioned it before. Now it's like, man, now I'm feeling self-conscious.
Yeah, you got to.
Somebody find me a cool background, with a little movement or something that's not complicated, and send it to me, and then I'll put it in.
Ian would like for you to show some footage of that 120,000 feet and what the sun looks like. That's supposedly 93 million miles away.
Here it is. It's right here. Got to move out of the way. So there's the sun. Local. The Earth is spinning 1,000 miles an hour below me. You can clearly tell that's happening. And its light is local. Look at it. Try to get out of the way. Its light is lighting up this area right here. It's a local light. What is this? I don't know what it is, right? I don't know what it is, but it's not much higher than that balloon. And I think that the people on the Earth see it much lower than we see it up here. I think it's an optical focus point of energy that everybody has their own personal relationship with the sun. Weird, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't think it's any physical location. I really think you nailed it when you did your sheet. With your flashlight thing. I think you nailed it. That's exactly what it is. And our atmosphere or the firmament is acting as the movie screen. And the real sun that's projecting the light we see is possibly beyond the firmament.
Yeah,
metaphysical.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
The sheet, this light is a square lens, but it looks spherical, right? It looks, doesn't that amazingly look like a sun? It's amazing. Even like it became yellow. I don't even know why it's yellow. And we're seeing it. She sees it there. When I'm over here, I see it over here. She still sees it over here. We're looking at, to me, that makes the most amount of sense. I'm not claiming it's 100% right, but this is what I think it is.
I agree.
Yeah.
James says the things we see are pretty similar. They see a lot more of the same stars than they should if people were flat. We're not, if the people were flat. I think he's talking about the southern and northern hemisphere thing, but gosh, that's Flat Earth 101. I was past that in like 2013.
Yeah.
You can see the moon in the sky, blue day time, because it is inside the firmament. Yeah, that's always weird. I always thought the portion of the moon that's not lit up, why is it transparent? Like in the daytime, it's blue sky behind it, or in the nighttime, it's black sky behind it. And I've even seen pictures, I don't know if they're real, where you can see stars through the unlit portion of the moon. That's what makes me think it's not physical.
Right. Well, the fact that we can see it in the day sky, type in moon here. Let's see if I can find that picture. Tells you that it is not a reflecting rock from 238,000 miles away. I thought I had the moonlight one in here. Maybe I need to add that. Not there. I guess I have to add that.
Okay, James, that's totally hypothetical, and nobody knows what anything was before there was anything. So that's just nonsense. You think God was limited by a force he had not yet created? What makes you think God's a he? Question: how many millions have you made pushing the flat nonsense to the world's retards? It's not nonsense. It's not retarded. It's
come collect your Bitcoins. Reality. Come collect your Bitcoins. One globe proof. Just one globe proof. Right? One globe proof.
Yeah, you want to make some money. What's a Bitcoin worth nowadays?
It's like $40,000, $43,000 or something like that. Last time I looked.
There you go. Come pick you up 120 grand, dude. Just give us one demonstrable, provable, empirical proof, that we can test and verify. Go ahead. I would love to see it. I've been looking for 10 years. Who was it? Isso Doobie. Yeah. And if you find it, tell me first, and I'll get the Bitcoin. James Worley, bro, if you believe NASA teaching, then how the blank could the entire universe be created from the Big Bang? That entire concept goes against all functions of the universe. Well, that concept came from a priest, not a scientist. Came from a Jesuit priest. And that was a story. It's not any much better of a story than the Santa Claus story, if you ask me. Which is cause and effect. A little bickering going back and forth here. What do you guys think of Jesus? As you said, you believe in giants, flat earth, etc., all that in the Bible. Love you, Trev. Been following you for years, brother. I taught Sunday school for many years. I was born and raised a Christian, but I don't want to talk about Jesus. I'm sorry.
That's what I always say. I think that's a very personal question, and I think everybody has their own personal relationship with their creator. And if you want to set an example for somebody else, feel free. But it's not a question that I think is appropriate.
Not on a public live stream. I would talk to somebody one-on-one if they really want to know. I have things to say about that. It's not, this isn't a time or place for that. The day part 2, Indian. Have P900, will travel, Ian says. That's what you got to do. Yeah, that's what I did. I went to Florida. I went to Chicago. Take your P900 with you and find some of that curvature. Stars spinning in the night sky in different directions in north and south. Dave, you want to tackle that? Like we kind of already did with the moon, but the reason. Oh, go ahead, Dave. I don't have you here,
No,
boss.
go
We'll
ahead.
let you.
Finish what you were saying.
Well, if the whole sky is spinning, where you're at would determine which direction you're facing would determine which way that the stars appear to turn. So it's really hard to look up at the sky and explain why things look like that they do, because the perspective and the distance and the vast size of the sky makes everything very very stuck to perspective and location and direction. So it's big. That's my short answer.
All of the stars rise in the east and set in the west, no matter where you are on Earth. And if you visualize all that, like you're on the equator and you're looking north, all of the stars are going to come from your right shoulder to your left shoulder, if I got that right. So that's counterclockwise, right? So big circle, they're coming around from the east to the west. That's counterclockwise. If I turn around and look at that same rotation, it's now coming from my left shoulder to my right shoulder. The same direction is now clockwise. It's all perspective from where you are. The other thing is, why are we looking up at the motion of the impossible stars in space to prove the shape of the Earth, right? Here's just a little, we're looking through optics. So as I'm moving this pitcher of water, this plant is going in a different direction. See how it's moving? The optics of the sky are no way to prove the shape of the Earth. It looks like it's wrapping around. It's going in a different direction. I personally think that the southern stars are a reflection of the northern stars. And the star disk is only inside the Tropic of Cancer. Then you have your zodiac stars in between the two tropics, and then the other ones are reflected to the outside. That's just me, though.
Yeah. And what do you think? The sky's full of water, Dave?
I kind of do. I 100% do. But if you want to learn more, just hit the question mark button and you go to the Southern Star rotation button, which is, where is it? Right there. Southern Star rotation. Bam. And there's a whole bunch of videos in there, a whole bunch of videos that will show you some stuff. This one right here is pretty cool. I did a reflection. Let me show you. I'll show it to you for a second. And this guy, by the way, this guy is amazing. What's his name? It'll come to me in a minute. But he breaks it down. And the problem is I don't really show him very much because it goes over many people's heads. But what he's explaining on how all this works makes perfect sense. Perfect sense. So I just want to show you my, so here's my my rotating stars. They rise in the east, they set in the west, and the stars in the middle right here make that straight line. And here we have the rotating north stars and the rotating southern stars. Possibility. Flat Earth Philosophy, that's the channel. But there's lots of his videos in this playlist, and you should check them out. All right.
Nice. Oh, there's another channel I just discovered I think you would enjoy, and maybe you've already seen it. My Lunch Break on YouTube. Have you seen this channel?
That's I was talking about him before. He's on the homeschool section. Yeah, you hit the homeschool button. My Lunch Break right here. Oh, okay. He's the best. Cool. He's in Sean Hibbler's new Old World Order. It's phenomenal. His latest video, you have to watch all of his videos. They're unbelievable. And the latest ones he's done, he's really taken it to the next level. Proof, not theories anymore. It's all proof at this point.
I like it. Yeah, I just got started. I found his channel like yesterday. I think I've watched 2 videos.
Oh, really? You gotta watch all of his videos. They're amazing.
Oh, I will. Yeah.
All right.
For sure.
Unfortunately, I gotta wrap it up. So any final words?
Looking at the chat here. Nothing worthy of mention. What's on your agenda next?
I've got 4 more interviews tomorrow, and then after that, I'm speaking in Acapulco live in Acapulco at a big freedom conference there, and that's going to be an amazing. It's going to be great. There's a lot of speakers there a few speakers that are anti-flat Earth, but a large percentage of the speakers are all flat earthers. I'm like almost everyone in the health freedom movement are flat earthers. I say almost everyone, but I think it's everyone. And it's going to be fantastic. Anyway, if you're looking for a vacation, you want to go get a getaway, Acapulco, check that out. You can find it at on my website, flatearthdave.com. And it's an amazing conference. It's a week long.
Awesome. Now, can you view that digitally, or is this in person?
Oh yeah, you can actually go. There's virtual or in person. But yeah, there'll be tons of people doing it virtually.
Name one.
Name one person doing it virtually.
Yeah, where can I see it virtually? Yeah.
Oh no, you just go to Acapulco to go to the link on my website and sign up. Just go and you can watch it virtually. You can watch it on. Yeah. You can. It's going to be live streamed.
All right, everybody's thanking you for your time. You're awesome, Dave. Somebody wants to know why they can't see New Zealand from Australia, but we all know that
it's too far away.
Yeah, an atmosphere,
and the air becomes thick, and the things become small, and the atmospheric layer compresses into your apparent eye height, as we discussed before, and it becomes opaque. You're a terrestrial viewer underneath it, and you cannot see through it. That line becomes opaque, and anything above it cannot be zoomed back into view.
Well said. Dave,
yeah.
I really appreciate your time. I love what you're doing. I think you are definitely on your life path. That's why this path keeps going and going and never seems to end, because you have a job to do and you're doing it, and you're doing it well. I really appreciate it. And we are going to wrap this up. I know you're ready to get out of here, but if you could stick around just for a moment after I end the in-stream,
sure.
I have just a quick question for you. All right, thanks everybody for watching. I think this was a record. This is most people I've ever had watch my live stream, and I know there'll be thousands watching later. So thank you very much for joining us. And if you have questions about Flat Earth, flatearthdave.com. Anything else, Dave?
Check out the app. If you really want to learn about Flat Earth, get the app, watch the daily video each day, watch the videos that come after it, check out the frequently asked questions, and you'll never be bored. Never be bored. And then if you're like, oh my God, I'm a flat earther, my friends and family don't like me anymore, that's okay. Just go on the friend finder, and you can find new friends near you. Let's take a quick look at the worldwide. You're like, well, I wonder if there's any flat earthers near me. Give it a second to load here. And you'll be quite amazed. Here, 1 second. Here we go. Let's look at America here. These are the people that are on the friend finder on my app. And then you can message them. You can do video calls with them. You can check out their profile. You can, soon you'll be able to search like, hey, I want a real estate broker in Michigan. I can find a flat earth real estate broker in Michigan. It's going to be, or looking for a friend, a significant other, looking for someone to go into business with, whatever. You can find everybody with their common likes. So it's not just America, it's the UK. Crazy. The number of people that are getting on here. The whole world is going to be black, just a big black dot soon. New Zealand, people here. We even have a guy in Antarctica at Casey Station right there. Bam.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I live in a small town, population 99, or actually I live outside of town. 99 people, 3 flat earthers with your app. Can you believe
nice.
that?
And and basically you can send out a radius message. Like I go in here and I say, turn the radius on. I'm going to say 50 kilometers, save. And I'm here in Mexico. There's not a lot of people, but in 50 kilometers, we have 32 people. I could send a message out. hey, I'm heading out to La Serena tonight, live music, Flat Earth meetup. Come on down, let's drink some tequila. And then people show up. And guess what? If you send out a radius message and one person shows up, that's awesome. It's an event. You have somebody that you have so much in common with. You'll be talking all night. Your voice will be sore. You'll lose your voice. But then if 10 people show up or 85 people show up, like happened to us when we did ours in Connecticut, it's amazing. So that's just some of the stuff you can do on here.
How much is your app, Dave?
It's $3 one-time charge. But if you want to use the higher features that cost me per use, like the video search is one, messaging people. But if you're not a subscriber, you can read messages. If someone's having a meetup, you can read it. You just can't reply. But the subscription is $11 a year. Okay, that's cheap. But if you don't want to pay the subscription, you click this middle button right here. This is the referral area. And you customize, click the little pencil. It's a random number you'll have and just put in, mine is DITRH. You can just put in, Trevor, whatever you want. And anytime anyone, you're talking Flat Earth to somebody and you show them the app, they always say, where do I get that app? And you say, here, right here, it's $3. And when they download it, it asks them if they have a referral code. They put in your code, then your app will do a little song and dance. Hey, you got a referral. And after it has 11, you can trade it in for your subscription. Or you can just, keep it. A lot of people keep it. If I hit the leaderboard, the leaderboard's pretty cool. Where are we going here? It shows you the top 100 referrers. And look who's number 2, my lunch break, Kenny. Did you notice I was a sponsor on my lunch break when he does his shows?
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah.
And so he promotes it. And you know why he promotes it? Because he loves it. You know why I promote him? Because I love him. He's amazing. Right? I don't promote it for any other reason. Dave, you're making money. By the way, this app is making money to fund the app. All the money they make goes right back into this app. And it's not about that. It's about waking up the world. So these are the top people that are doing it. And there's the bottom of the leaderboard is people have 5. You get 6, you're on the leaderboard. So it's fun. And then there's benefits that sometimes will come there. Maybe one day I could take the top 10 people and we could have a meetup in Mexico, and I'll fly everybody to Mexico. That'd be fun, right?
I'm in. Let's do it in the wintertime if you don't mind.
Yeah, well, of course. Yeah, of course. So there you go. So that's it. And there's no complaining. And if the $3 is too much for you, then maybe truth isn't for you either.
Right. I agree. Yeah, if you haven't figured out the earth is flat, you haven't looked into it enough. But like I said, I really appreciate you being here, and keep up the good work and keep it flat. And we're going to wrap it up. Thanks for joining us, guys. Have a good night.
Thanks, everybody. See ya.
Peace out.
See ya.
That